Selamat siang. I believe that's how you say good afternoon. Going to be learning more Indonesian soon. We're kind of away, and I was reading through the comments. So first of all of you guys who are watching this, videos you'd like to see, titles you'd like to see, suggestions, leave it in the comments below. I'm reading the comments usually like every day. We're kind of in a really chill place right now. And I just wanted to make a video explaining, well, I went through, first of all the comments you guys left. And today's video, 3 things not to do when you start a YouTube channel. I was thinking of doing 5 things, but 3 seems pretty well because I really want to explain these. We're going to go to the drawing board, but I want to show you a little bit of this place here. And so you can see how chill and peaceful it is. And just want to let you guys know right away that I appreciate all of the people who are, so many of the new people, like the people who have been here for a while. You guys already know I love you, but the people who just got here who don't know me so well, I just like to say I know. I just want to say that I was gonna tell them. I was gonna say I really appreciate you being here and want to let you guys know you're always welcome here. Really, just as I say, probably the next week or two, I'm attending like a huge event for like 6 days. It's 14 hours a day, so probably gonna go away. I'm gonna probably I would like to make a bunch of videos now. So your titles that you suggest down below would really help out because then it gives me some things to sit at the drawing board. So real quick about the drawing board, and I'll try and show you guys the view. You can still hear me. About the drawing board. The drawing board is an iPad. People keep asking me about it. The drawing board is an iPad, and it's just something new, a way to help explain things a little bit better to you. See, Luna's pretty knocked out. You okay? And this is where I've been kind of chilling and creating these. And by the way, just before we get started, last thing, if you're really interested in starting YouTube channel and you need some help, some of you guys have already signed up for this, but the YouTube Content Accelerator is a program that I made probably about 8 or 9 months ago when I was really embodied in how to do this on YouTube, how to start content that's timeless, how to start content that's based around me. And we're going to get into that today, but the program explains a lot more. And I just want to touch on 3 things really quick, but the drawing board will really help. So we'll go to the drawing board and then I'll see you back here as soon as I'm done explaining on the drawing board. And you're always welcome here. Okay, welcome back to the drawing board. So today, as I said, we're going to talk about 3 things not to do when creating content. Now, of course, I meant this for YouTube, but when I was thinking about it and making this list, I wrote the list right here for people who are very impatient. I'm one of those people. You got it right here. Those are the 3, but just because you know this, I'm going to tell you guys something real quick. This, short for information, is not, I repeat, not transformation, because these things right here, that's supposed to be an arrow. These things right here are supposed to, with an explanation, these all make sense and you'll understand it very clearly. Without it, it's very hard because it seems so easy, but people still, I don't call them mistakes, but if you really want to have, I think one of the most important things when it comes to creating content and so many other things in life, if you want to have like longevity, like kind of like never, I don't know if that's how you spell it, like you don't want to run out of things to say, you want this to be kind of long term, and you really want to build something, a true audience around your creativity, which I think is one of the most important things, which is you. These 3 tips that we're about to talk about today will really help. So on that note, or before we get started, one more thing. All of you guys who like this draw board thing and have been leaving me comments, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's something new for me. So getting you guys feedback really means a lot, and I truly appreciate it. So number 1, this is what I hear the most. And I actually heard this the first time. It really hit me when someone approached me and they were like, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I don't know what other people like. Now, I don't think this is like a very successful approach because I think a real reframing of it is, what do you like? And especially when you're starting out on YouTube, because we all start out the same, whether it's Instagram, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Twitter, whether it's TikTok, I don't know the symbol for that. We all start out the same, and that is we all start out at 0. All of us. Now, I don't know, I have 65,000 of you guys who have subscribed, but I started here. I started at 0. And one of the things that you want to do, and this is where it's pretty tough sometimes, especially in the beginning on these social media platforms, is you want to grow. So growth means getting that number from 0 to 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. And when you're first starting out, this is what people are focused on. We're going to get into that later, but this is what we're focused on. So you start to think like, well, what do people like? Because then I can get this number here, these numbers, to grow much faster, get these numbers up. But the problem, what they don't talk about is once you do, let's say you post what other people like. Let's say everyone likes, I don't know, what do people like? Let's say people like candy, okay? We're going to use this example. So people like candy. You kind of like doing other things. Let's say you like, really weird example, but this is what came to my mind, tomatoes. But you see people like candy. So you see that the more you post about candy, the more the numbers grow. So you're growing your numbers. Then all of a sudden you got 7. Then you wake up the next day, you have 30. So you keep going this route. And I think in the short term, this way works, talking about candy. But if you really like talking about tomatoes, because that's what you like, what happens is you get to a point where you're just like, maybe you get to 20,000. This has got you here talking about candy, but you really like tomatoes. And this is something that I struggled with, especially in the beginning, because you realize like, well, this worked for me. Like it got me to 20,000 talking about this, but I've always loved really talking about tomatoes. And one thing I can tell you about living here in Bali, so many people had businesses and made the money and did all this stuff, but it wasn't on what they really, truly loved. So one of the things that I say is, well, the first question you need to ask is, what do you like? Now, of course, you can ask yourself this, and a lot of things will come up for you. Like, well, I don't know if other people will like it, but mainly you're going to have a lot of fear. So many fears that maybe people won't watch. This is a real fear that people have. They don't do it. And everyone will have their own. Like, I don't know. People won't care. And these stop you because then you're like, if you think that, then all of a sudden this number doesn't go 1, 2, 3, 7, 20. It doesn't really grow. And especially in the beginning, you really want people to watch. You want people to be there. So one of the things I think that's really important is, what do you like? It's not about what the other people like, because I'm going to tell you this, and this is what I've learned, and I learned it the hard way. The people will come. And more importantly, I insert this right here, the right people will come. Because if you make this, and candy is an example, because you know everyone likes candy, so we're going to make it about candy. So every time you make a post or you create something, people want to see candy. But meanwhile, you're here. You like tomatoes. I don't know if that's an S. I don't know how to spell tomatoes. That's an S. Candy up here. Candy. People want to see candy. It's working. So you're making more things about candy. You don't like candy, but you're still doing this. And you can see this. You really want to talk about tomatoes. So tomatoes is something that I thought of, but maybe for you guys actually want to talk about lifestyle. I'm giving you real examples from emails that I've gotten. You want to talk about dealing with depression, dealing with anxiety. I'm trying to think of some other things I've heard. Just so many of you guys, and I commend you for this, want to talk about the struggles of being whatever that is, a teen from a certain country, so many different things. So that's replace tomatoes with any of these things that you like. Any of these can replace tomatoes, and that's for you. So what happens is when you start to build off of posting candy. Well, people like candy. And before you know it, the more you go here and you ignore what you actually really want to talk about, that usually leads to you just, let's do that again. Candy. That leads to you hating candy. And now you've built this following, this number that you have, let's say it's 27,000, off of something that you don't like. So imagine how that makes you feel. And you get to this point where I really just want to talk about tomatoes. This is what I did. I thought so much about Well, I really want to be entertaining to people. This was my thing. I want to be entertaining and educational. And what happened in the long run is that that's okay to balance, but what happened is I got a little bit out of balance. Like, I don't know how to draw a scale. I'm gonna attempt to draw a scale. Well, that's not bad. But what happened was the scale kind of went down this way on the entertaining side, okay? So it was entertaining, and it went down, and I wasn't doing what I really wanted to do, which was educate. And honestly, when I really thought about it, what I really wanted to truly do was empower. So in the long run, you want to make sure that you really enjoy what you do. Because candy, that might work, and many people do that, but that's the people who kind of burn out or start again. So that's just a really quick breakdown on that. And what goes hand in hand with that is doing something for the likes and the views. Because what happens is, I'm going to tell you from my experience, is number one, no one ever talks about. You lose yourself. Because you've brought all these people to you. Let's draw all these people. They have arms, I'm just not good at drawing. You've brought all these people here, and all they're shouting is you've built this facade off of candy. But meanwhile, in the back, you're here, and you actually really don't even like candy. But you've been doing that because you're fueled by the views, likes, and comments. And I'm going to tell you something that my coach once told me about being happy, because you can have it, and this is what everyone sees. Everyone sees, let's go to a different color. Everyone sees the views, everyone sees the likes, everyone sees the comments, which puts the thought in everyone's mind that, oh, this person's happy, they love their content, they have the perfect life, all this. But meanwhile, behind the curtain, you're doing this off of something you really don't like, and almost like putting on a mask, so to speak, and we know how much people like that. So basically, as you're doing that, you're actually not happy. And maybe you actually don't love that. And it's actually not perfect. So this whole goal of, I think I wrote it down up here, longevity, it doesn't really last. It goes away. And more so, if this goes away, then usually it means that you go away. You usually get off the platform, or you change, or you just totally stop completely, as you see a lot of people do. Because it really wasn't built on what you like and love. And I'm going to tell you guys a secret that I've learned in what I've been creating is that I much more prefer have 10 people like me, for me, than have 10,000 people just like content that I didn't like. Because there's power here. There's power in this. Because everyone has this kind of deep fear that people won't like them. You know, we've talked about it before. I think I posted on my Instagram that the two biggest fears that we have, and this is kind of a psychology lesson as well for you guys, you're welcome, is that I'm not enough. So you can see how that would play, if this would play out in your content, is like, well, if people aren't liking it, that must mean that I'm not enough, and there's this fear. And on social media, everything is public, so everyone will know. So the fear that people have is I'm not enough, and the second fear everyone has is I won't be loved. It sounds pretty crazy, but when you really go deep down into it, you'll find that a lot of things are this. If I don't post the content, then the views don't come. So let's go there. That's 0 views. So I got 0 views, 0 likes, and I'm talking about myself. So I'm talking about myself, and 0. No one's really watching, and that makes you not feel good. So you go back sometimes to just holding up this. And what I'd like to encourage you all, because so many of you guys write me and want to produce content, I'm going to teach you this magic P word, and I don't even know how to spell it. It's supposed to say patience. I guess I'm really exposing me in school. I don't know how to spell patience. Actually, I can look it up right now. Well, patience. Let's just say patience. Do you know how to spell patience? I have a little help next to me.
Patience.
Perfect. And this is the world we live in. Usually I type that and it will correct it. So patience, this is the big word. This is like the big thing to remember. You know, one of the great quotes that I heard, and it's weird because even as I'm making this video, I'm remembering myself when I started at 0. The subscribers that I really remember, I remember having 0 subscribers. I remember having 67 subscribers because I remember it just didn't grow from 67. It went from 67 to 65 to 68, back to 61, and I just stayed in this area. And what happens is it's really tempting when you're in this area. It's really tempting to just say, I'm going to talk about the candy. Because if I talk about the candy, then more people come. And all of a sudden, we start correlating our success to, where did I write that down? To the numbers growing. We start to correlate it to like growing, like I need to grow it. But when it comes to social media and being creative, remember, things that I think are so important is that you're having fun with it, that you love what you're doing. And more importantly, and now this is something I'm implementing in my life, is you know the outcome. So this is almost what, you were starting out like this. Number one question I'd say I'm asked is, Luke, I want to start, what should I make in my first video? And I say the same thing. Why are you starting? And who are you? These are great questions to ask yourself and tell people in this first video. I encourage you guys to go back to my first video on my channel. Watch out, look how horrible that was compared to the videos that I do now. This is important. And the next thing that I hear a lot, people are like, hey, can you follow me? This is something I hear all the time, okay? Especially when I was traveling and just meeting you, bumping into you guys on the street. And the first thing I would ask you guys is, sure, but why? Why should I follow you? For what? Why should I follow your content? Are you talking about the things you want to talk about? Is it content that I want to consume? And most people, I'm going to tell you exactly what they answer. I don't know. Because I'm like, why should I follow you? I don't know, because that's the reason. Like, what kind of content do you create? Do you know what kind of content you create? These are questions that you really need to ask yourself. Because trust me, there's something that people are forgetting about, which is what I love about coaching. Fulfillment is important. Fulfillment. And that usually comes when I asked my coach, this is where I was going before, fulfillment comes, I basically was, I don't even know how to draw this, but I want to keep something going while I'm talking. Let's see. So I talked to my coach, my college coach, okay? Let's say this is my college coach. So at this time, I was in the great country of Australia. I'm going to try to draw Australia. Sorry for my people in Australia. This is kind of how I do it. And I was living here in Melbourne. I'd been there for 2 years, and I called my coach. He's back in the States because I had a big decision to make. And I called him. I said, Coach, I'm here. I've been here 2 years already, and I've got a job offer to go all the way across the world to Deutschland, which is Germany. And I told him I didn't know what to do. I told him that it was for 1/10 almost of my salary. And I said I really wanted to go to Europe. That was always my goal. And I'd been in Australia 2 years already. And I said, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And he said, hey, Luke, he said, I'm 60 years old. He's like, I have 2 kids, a wife. He's like, in all that time, he's like, the only question, and this is how I've determined how happy I was. He's like, when I lay my head down at night on a pillow, he's like, am I happy? And I was like, oh. And he came back to me after he told me this. Like, when he lays his head down at night, he's like, I'm happy. This is what he told me about him. And I was like, okay. So then he told me, he's like, well, Luke, if you went to Germany, I was like, yeah, and you went to sleep, and before you laid your head down at night, would you be happy? And I said, yes. My answer, yes. And his next response was this. I'm literally going to quote him. He said, "I love you, kid." And he hung up. That was our conversation. And I tell you that story because when it comes to you creating the content, after you've created that content and you lay your head down at night, okay, let's just draw a bed. It's much easier. This is you. I know it doesn't look like you, but let's just say that. When you lay your head down at night, are you happy with what you're creating? Are you happy with that? So this is like the energetics behind it. Because if you're creating something, I have a lot of friends who create for other people, and they're not happy when they lay their head down at night. They have money. They're getting paid for it. I talked to one of my friends like 5 days ago like this. But what they really want to do, their true desire, is to create content that they want to create. What you want to create. And everyone kind of goes through this. I'm just giving you this. This is something that I had to realize the hard way. But as we said before, this is the big word right here, patience. One of the best quotes that I heard, I think I forgot to tell you, was in an interview, and the guy said about this person starting their YouTube channel who had 0. And he said, you need to give people time to find you. So what I would say is make all the content that you want. If you really want to talk about tomatoes, let's call tomatoes tea, okay? So if you really want to talk about tomatoes because that's what you love, make a video about tomatoes. Then another one. Then another one. Then another one. Then another one. And then maybe every now and then throw in a piece of candy. Or make a video about why you don't talk about candy. That's a good one. Videos why you don't. These usually do well. Right here. Because then you can still get the people there, but you're talking about here. So the following that you're going to have from here, that really makes you feel like this. And then to the last thing, real quick. I said I was going to make this video really quick, but happens sometimes. This right here. This is the killer when it comes to creating. Is overthinking the content. So as you guys know me, before I had like so many different things that I thought you had to vlog. So to vlog, this is what I started out with. The G7X. That is a $600 camera. That's what I thought I had to have. Then I had to have the GorillaPod. This was my first setup that I had. That was $100. And then I realized that, no, I need better content. So I brought the Canon 70D. That was $1,200 because I thought that this would make my content better. Then I needed the cool lens. That was like $1,000. Get that wide angle lens. You guys know who have a Canon. And then from there, I'm like, I need to make cooler slow motion videos. So then from there, I was just like, well, let's get a GH4. You guys have seen all these videos in the vlog. That was another $1,000. Then I needed a good lens, another wide angle lens. That was $1,000. And I tell you the numbers because this is what I thought I needed. This is what I thought was necessary. And that all became from here, from overthinking. And sadly enough, it made me like I got these because I felt like what I had wasn't enough. So you guys can remember that fear of I'm not enough. And I felt like my gear wasn't enough, for example. And you're going to see why I'm telling you all these numbers. Why I'm telling you all these numbers right here. I'm about to tell you in a second for all these. And this is what I had. This is what I had. And then I was like, actually, I know what I need to do to make better content. I need a better computer. So brought a new Mac. Now, got a new Mac for, I don't know what that was. That was almost $2,000. Then I need Final Cut. This is all from overthinking, all of this right here. Everything you're watching right here. That was a $300 application. And this was what I thought I needed to make content. And then I got to a point where I was like, actually, what if I just let me stop overthinking all this. So stop overthinking all this. And I keep it simple. What if I just use the GoPro? That's, I don't know, $300? And that's it. What if I just use the GoPro? And then edit on a Mac, but you can edit that on anything. And this is my setup right now. That's what I do right now. This is 4 years in. This is what I use to film 90% of my videos. Well, the vlog you're watching today was filmed on an iPhone. Because I stopped overthinking it. because all this stuff came with more. Once I got this camera, I needed a better lens, and then I needed something better, then better, then better. And I was like, what if I just focus on, and this is the best thing I can tell you guys, focus on the content. Doesn't matter if you use your phone, your friend's phone, doesn't matter. It's on the content and not overthinking it. Because that really hurts the creativity. It doesn't let it flow because you're trying to control it. Which is why we try to overthink it, to know which way is the best way to do it. So the thing that I started to do was just put out content. And just put out a lot of it. The reason why I did daily and why I tell people to do that in the beginning is because it allows you don't have time. There's no time to overthink when you're putting out content every day. Especially if you're doing it in the beginning. There's no time. There's no time to overthink your content because you're just putting it out. And just in general. Because my philosophy, and this is what I tell to a lot of people, I don't think there is, and you guys will have your own philosophy, but I don't think thinking exists really. I think that there's overthinking, and then there's doing. That's what I believe in. And this has motivated me and got me going because I'm like, well, what am I doing right now? What am I doing? I need to make a video today, for example. Right now, what am I doing? Whoa, I don't know what to do. I'm on this side. Or am I, okay, let's go out and film. That's it. Because when you start to get here in the middle, this middle ground is really messy. Because at what point does the thought that comes to your mind, boom, the thought comes, now you get to choose the direction to go. You can act on it or you overthink about it. And I still struggle with this a lot. I still overthink. I overthought this video. I was like, I don't know, I need to plan out what I say. But I was like, no, just start the video. You'll know what to say. So I don't overthink. Because you think of a lot of times, well, what's the worst that will happen? If I put this content out and no one likes it. Okay, perfect. I've got feedback. But I always know some of my favorite videos, one of my favorite questions that people will ask me in interviews or on the street is, what's your favorite video that you put out? And I tell you right now, out of my top 100 videos that I have, my favorite video is not one of them. My favorite video is probably one of my least viewed. But it's my favorite one. I watch it the most if I watch a vlog. I just started watching some of my older videos. But it's my favorite. I love that one. And if you guys want to know, it's the Berlin vlog. That was one of my favorite ones, being in Berlin. That was just so fun to see my friend. And that's kind of the three things that I would say to you guys. Because I think when you're creating content, longevity is so important. Because you're doing it for the right reason and you keep going. And then when you do it off of what you love, which I think in this conclusion I came today, is when you do what you love and you can get, I'll make another video about this, you can get paid for it, it's just like, that's like a win. That's like what I thought was the maximum, the best thing to do was to love what you do and to get paid for it. That for me is winning. That's what I thought. And I did that though. I realized as a pro athlete, I did that for 12 years. And then people ask me, well, what did you leave for? And I was like, and I can realize it now. And as I analyze myself, I was like, oh, I found something better. I know what you're thinking. Like, wait, how can something be better than to do what you love and get paid for it? I'm about to tell you right now. Don't tell anyone this. So let's just call this one top secret, okay? Let's do the flashy, I guess I should have made that red. But you guys get the point. Let's say that's red, okay? Top secret. And so what I found was, what's better than getting paid to do what you love is to get paid to be who you are. And one of the things, my favorite things about being a content creator, I know how to spell creator. Being a creator is you're creating content all the time. You are doing it. You are creating content. You are just being who you are. But that's if you're true to yourself and you really are talking about tomatoes. I think there is a at the end of tomatoes. This is the key. Because doing this is amazing. But if you just be yourself, if you can just be yourself, put out the content that's true to you without fear, just because it's true to you, that is winning. And I'd say that out of all this, and by the way, if you guys want the notes, I should maybe post these notes at the end. Or maybe you can screenshot this real quick. Take a quick screenshot. Boom. But these are, say, the 3 things not to do. And more importantly, not these are just the 3 things not to do, but why you shouldn't. Now, of course, you can do whatever you like because, as you guys know, there are no rules. But in my experience, these are the things that have worked for me. And I hope that this helped you out as well. These have worked for me. That's why I'm here and being able to show up. And I love it. So technically, if you're getting paid for who you are and you love who you are, then you're automatically you're automatically doing this and you're getting paid to be who you are. And that's another level. But if you just think, if you get to do what you love, when you look at it as a simple level as that, it's just doing what you love, and then being who you are. Combine these two together. That's one of my favorite parts. So I just wanted to share this with you. But like before, I'm not going to end the video here because I ended it before. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And we'll go back to me. I don't know where I am at this moment in time. But for all you guys, just create. This is the easiest way to say it. This is the last thing I'll say. Just create. Don't think, just do. Just create. And the words that I say all the time, as I told you guys, YouTube Content Accelerator really talks about that. That's linked below. I'll write the name of that right here. And for you guys who all purchased it this week, you guys have your free call anytime. I've wrote you emails, so get back to me. And one of the things that I've heard that I live by on YouTube is the one phrase that I live by. And I heard it from Casey Neistat, and he heard it from Roman Atwood. And there are 3 words to live by when it comes to any kind of creation. But I definitely say when you're on YouTube, I'm going to write it down right here. It's important. Just keep uploading. Just keep uploading. Give people time to find you. And I hope this helped you out. Now we're going to go back to me. I think I'm just walking around. I'll end the video in a nice way, but not here. I have my camera. Okay, see you there. And that brings us back here. And those are 3 things for me that I think the mistakes and the what not to do. And of course, there's no rules. When it comes to anything that you're doing, there's no rules. There's laws, but there's no rules. And I find that all the people who have been successful and made it, they all broke the rules. Or more so, they weren't confining themselves by the rules, aka the limitations they put on ourselves. So I hope that this video helped. Hope it brought some things and made you really think about it, because I know so many of you guys want to start YouTube channels, and I highly recommend everyone do that, especially right now when you need that outlet. Share your story, share your perspective. One of the best things I could say, honestly, and it's not just because it's me, but check out the YouTube Content Accelerator. People have already taken it. If you've taken it, please let people know in the comments how you found it. And that's linked below, first line of the description. Check it out. If you'd like to help me, help contribute to me, and help contribute to the content, help contribute to this mission, this journey, all of this, I'd love your support. I appreciate your support. And every time you guys see at the end of the video, the vlog was sponsored by someone, that's someone who has contributed to the channel. And I appreciate you. Even if you can't do it, I still appreciate you being here. But you guys who keep me fueled up, I thank you so much. And on that note, from here, not the creation station, I don't think, but here in the getaway place, I want to wish you all a great day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And everyone, always remember to work hard, be brave, and don't forget to smile. Ciao.